The first time that I heard about SRM, so solar radiation modification, was back in 2019 at the, I always forget the exact name, but International Climate Geoengineering Symposium that happened in Rio de Janeiro, where I was based back then. And I attended as an observer. And at first, what really struck me was that I was the only young person in the room, even though it was a public event. And also that climate geoengineering and SRM back then were terms that I had never heard of before, even though I was already engaged in sustainable development and climate and environmental groups. So leaving that conference, I was even a bit afraid that I was the only, again, young person there in the room, that I had listened to all of the things that the scientists had said, and a bit alone that no one else was talking about those technologies. And so for years, till I heard of C2G, I had SRM and geoengineering as terms in my head, but didn't have the chance to explore them. And the first time I heard about C2G was in the beginning of 2022, when they were preparing a talk about the role of science fiction and new emerging climate technologies. And I had read a lot of science fiction talking about the topic, and that interested me. And it felt really good to see that there were organizations that were looking into something that had been in my head for a while. So that's how I got into C2G and SRM more, like, with more energy. I think it was a very enriching experience in the sense that I had the opportunity to take a step back and really learn about not only the science, but also what other stakeholders groups have been saying about SRM, and what's the current state of SRM governance that we have in the world. And then, as I was already someone that was interested in the topic and even a bit scared that those things weren't discussed in a mainstream way, it gave me a lot of knowledge and the chance to engage with people who are already either doing research or talking about those things for years.